another edition of Reflections with Pastor Chris. What's love got to do with it? Surely you've heard that question in that song made famous by an outstanding performer, Tina Turner. But the question really hits home during this time, this season where we are really focused on love, Valentine's this week. And she asked the question, what does love really have to do with anything? She goes on to say that it's really just a secondhand emotion. Now, if you know anything about the story and the life of Tina Turner, you might understand why she would pose that question, why she would come to the conclusion that she does. But I want to tell you today that there's a different answer to that question. What does love have to do with it? Everything. Everything you are is a product of love. You are a product of God's love. You have made it because of God's love. You are valued and important because of God's love. I don't want to belittle the fact that perhaps, like Tina, you've had your heart broken. Perhaps love has not been good to you every aspect and every time you thought you experienced it. I want to tell you, just because imperfect love has failed you, doesn't mean that perfect love hasn't. What I mean by that, imperfect love is what you and I share with one another. We try to be right. We try to be true. We try to be as wholesome and pure as God would have us, but it's imperfect because we're imperfect. And consequently, we disappoint one another. We break one another's hearts. We fall short. But just because someone has fallen short of perfectly loving you does not mean you haven't been perfectly loved. God's perfect love is for you, is bestowed on you, and you've been loved in a way that no one can compare with. So what's love got to do with it? It has to do with everything. And this season, don't focus on the imperfect love that disappointed you. Don't even think about the imperfect love that hurt you, but think about the perfect love that saved you, that's walking with you, that never leaves you. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, and whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." You are loved. Somebody thinks very highly of you, and that somebody is perfect. So this season, enjoy and experience the love of God and share it with as many people as you can. Remember, God loves you, and so do I. Be blessed.